Hey, so today we are going to do ice dyeing. Ice dyeing is a very cool process that you can actually do at home. Today we are actually using these baskets that you can find in any commercial store, as well as 5-gallon buckets, because this will catch all of the drippings that fall underneath. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is take our fabric, and our fabric here is just a heavyweight muslin. So if you want to take that and then shove it down in the bottom of your basket.
Does it matter how I shove it?
No, you want it to be random, very random, right?
For Eurydice, there are these 3 stones who are in the underworld, and each of them in my costume design has their own natural motif. So this stone is based a little off of, as you might be able to tell by the headpiece here, some fungus. So I really wanted to go with that texture, keeping with the natural feeling, but it's got some of the dimension of a stone. I saw how Zach did it with some of the costumes for Zodiac, and those were super cool, and I kind of saw those and I was like, that is what I want.
So once we have our fabric loaded into our baskets, we want to make sure it's nice and tight in the bottom like this. We are actually going to start scooping in ice to put on top. So I have this bucket of ice here, and I'm just going to start layering it right on top like this, okay? For this, we are each going to be making a sleeve. The sleeves on this bodice are huge, and we need them to be like this organic shade of blue. So we are actually going to be using Rit dye that we have here. And I'm going to start with evening blue. I'm just going to show you how I do this. It's actually quite easy, but you take it and you sprinkle it lightly like this, right? So you can go ahead and do that. One thing I will say, these dyes typically have sodium or salt in them. So for anybody in Buffalo, they know what salt does to ice. It typically melts it. So this will actually help it melt faster, but also it will create an interesting texture because of chemistry on the fabric itself. And you'll see that later. Now it's just a waiting game. So typically this takes up to 24 hours to just let all of the ice drip and melt. But tomorrow we will actually come back and see what the final product is.
24 hours later.
All right, so it has been 24 hours, and we are back here in the craft room. Katya, who was assisting me yesterday, couldn't be here because she has class, but this is my assistant,
Cindy Darling.
and we are going to show what the results look like. I'm really excited about this. So obviously the ice is melted. If you look here, the dye has absorbed into the fabric, and so we have a nice coating. But as we start to unravel and unfold the fabric, we will see that there is a lot of color variation. Now, the first thing we have to do is get up all of the excess dye. So I have a second bucket here that has a little bit of clean water in there. And I'm just going to transport this over like this. And I'm just going to dunk it. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to throw this into our washer over here. I do recommend doing at least 1 or 2 rinses before throwing it in your washer, because you can easily stain your washer. So we don't want to do that. So I'm going to pick this up and carry the bucket underneath so we don't have a lot of drippage. Thank you, Cindy.
And if you do happen to stain your washer, run an empty load with just bleach.
With just bleach. After you put it in the wash, obviously you run the load as per usual, and then you will take it out of the wash and throw it into the dryer. Luckily, we already have one that went through the wash and the dryer, and here are the final results. Ta-da!
Okay, now the next part of the process is, after this is ironed and made beautiful once more, the designer can come in and set the pieces of the patterns for the front of the dress, and she can pick out which parts of the pattern she wants, because it's a flat section on the front of her bodice. So she can really find some interesting things in here and can do whatever she wants with it.